I'm 21, guys. That's my big news. Since the last video, that's what's happened. I'm officially become old. I'm officially an adult in every country in the world now, so I can only imagine that things will go downhill from here. For my 21st, as one of my presents, I got one of these, a Tamagotchi. Do you remember Tamagotchis? I was so excited about this. His name is Jeffrey. He's a penguin. Moving on. So, despite being officially a grown-up now, I am still extremely socially awkward. I always get myself into embarrassing situations. It's something that I've always had. I thought it would get better as I got older. It's actually getting worse and happening more often. As one of my presents for my 21st, my mum took me to London to see The Lion King on the West End, which was amazing. But all the way through it, from the first scene right up until the end, I cried like a baby. I think it was just the music and the puppets and everything were amazing, and that was quite embarrassing. I didn't have a few tears. I was blubbering like a child for 3 solid hours, and I think all the other adults around me were a bit like, yeah, okay, it's emotional, but don't go that far. So that was bad enough. But then at the end, I stood up to clap to give them a standing ovation. As I stood up, I leant back on my seat slightly, and you know what theatre seats are like. It opened, and I went down on the floor, hurting my elbow, which is still bruised. So I was just sitting there, crying still from the show, with a bleeding elbow. So that happened. So that was great. A few weeks ago, I went to a Chinese restaurant. It was actually Cantonese, with some friends for a meal. And I realised how culturally ignorant I am. I always think, oh, you know, I'm very open-minded, I know about other places. This meal just made me realise that I am a knob. First of all, I panicked because this is a place that does takeaway. I've got takeaway from there before, but I've never eaten in. And I'm very much a creature of habit, and I always get the same thing. But the eat-in menu was different from the takeaway menu, so I panicked straight away. That was awkward. I was like, oh, I don't know what to do, and then I figured out a way to make a meal that was like what I normally eat. It came out, and everybody had chopsticks because it's very traditional. It's not really a westernised restaurant, it's very traditional. I don't know how to use chopsticks, so I kind of had to take the serving fork and spoon that they put it on your plate and just sort of eat with them, which was a bit awkward. And also, I couldn't find the toilets at the end, so I saw a disabled toilet, went in there and was looking around for the light, and the next thing I know, this Chinese guy, chef, comes running out of the kitchen, shouting at me in Chinese. It turns out that wasn't the toilet I was supposed to go in, and they were downstairs. Yeah. I've got more. I could go on all day. Train toilets. I don't know if, obviously I'm British, I don't know any British people out there. If you've been on trains lately, they've got new toilets now where you have to press a button for the door to open and then press a button for it to close and lock itself. I don't know what the point of this is. I know that they're bigger toilets, they're made for wheelchairs and stuff, but why can't I just open the door? I didn't like it. It took me ages to figure out how to get into it. Everyone was looking at me like I was weird because I was trying to pull the door open. But it wouldn't open because you had to press a button. And then once the door closed, I didn't know that if it was locked or not. So that was horrible. So what is that about? Not happy about that. But even though these situations are quite embarrassing, it's not as embarrassing as just looking like a total idiot at work, which is what I do all the time. I work in a big British tourist attraction which has thousands of people a day coming through it. And because after a certain point, you kind of on autopilot because you have to say the same things over and over again, I just automatically go, like if I see 2 people, just glance up quickly, oh, good morning, gentlemen. Looked up to find one of the gentlemen was a woman. I've also done it vice versa. Oh, you're alright, girls. Looked over, there's a little boy amongst the girls. I do it all the time, and people do pick up on it. The fact that, like, if there's a lady standing there and I've just called her a man, it's not good. So if you've got any stories, guys, please share them with me and make me feel like I'm not alone, because I am just getting more and more awkward and embarrassing as I get older, and I don't know if I'm the only one, so help me out, would you?